Welcome back, everybody. Happy Friday. Hopefully everybody's ready for the weekend. Having another little big correction going on in the market. Good to see you all. Grant, Lita, Mike, everybody, welcome back. Looks like everyone is, I guess I hate to be right. I really do. You know, listen, some of us are, I talked about it yesterday when I was mentioning a little bit about how people were thinking about getting a little bit of a rally coming in, buying on the dips and stuff like that. And I'm just going to bring up the Dow just really quick. And I know Josh kind of works a little bit more on the, the S&P, where I like to look at the Dow. But when you look at the Dow, I just want to show you up right here what's happening. We thought we got a little bit of a bounce yesterday. We didn't. You could see it was starting to make, and you learned this in class, we're making lower lows. And you could see it right there, how we're breaking lower lows. And it looks like we're probably going to have no choice. We're going to probably test the 30,000. I'm going to go back in 1 year. You could see over here, over actually the almost 2 years, a little bit almost 2 years. But you could see like everything that we've done ever since 2021. We're really, we had somewhat of a little bit of a rally, and I know a lot of it has to do about COVID and everybody was coming out. But then when inflation came out, and all the spending came out, you could see that now it's starting to kick in a little bit, and we're starting to make really, really big dips. I mean, you could look at, we had a nice rally here back in July, but look at this. This thing's coming down even harder. Remember what I always teach you, whatever goes up comes down twice as fast. Now, this is not even the big picture. When I do a 2 year, when they go back another year, go back to 2000, you could see clear as day, there is a very big resistance and support levels between 29 and 30,000. So 29 looks like the more predominant number where we're at. So we're about, we're almost about 1,500 points away from that. And then we could see what's going on. So what is going on? Well, listen, a lot of bad news came out yesterday, and like it or not, the global bank said there's going to be a global recession, all right? FedEx came out, and you saw the news today. They even pronounced it's going to be, they already predicted global recession. And I want to bring up FedEx really quick because this is a very, you know what? This is something very interesting to look at. First of all, I'm just out of curiosity. Anyone ever used FedEx lately? Has anyone went out to use FedEx? Like, and when I talk about FedEx, an overnight. Mark, you haven't. Anybody, Brad, you did an overnight envelope one not too recently? Anyone else? You used to, Grant. Okay, and it's funny. A lot of people are saying that. Do you know what they charge to send an overnight? You know how much they charge to send an overnight letter? Too much? Too much? Come on, Brad. Too much? Seriously? It's worse. It's worse. I was talking to my accountant. He said, like, after a while, I remember it was like $25 for an overnight, right? Now, one of my accountant told me he had to pay $120 just to drop it off. I'm like, 120? I mean, like, you're better off going there and drop it off yourself. You know what I mean? I know some people who actually would do for you. $120 to send a stupid letter? I mean, they're getting ridiculous. What they're charging. So I honestly don't feel too bad as the stock is getting hit. And when they're talking about a global recession, listen, they are the pioneer who started it, but that is a very, very, I mean, I didn't even know, get a flight for less, right, Mark? That's what I basically say. I make a vacation out of it if it's really that necessary. But I mean, like, listen, you know what? If they can get it, this is the problem. If they can get it, why not, right? And that's why you'll see that FedEx had such a really nice run up, trading at 300. So I remember going back and looking at FedEx. FedEx was, going back, always been trading in this price range right here. But that stock did really, really well. But that has got to be probably the worst crash next to back in 2000 when COVID hit, where we're in 150 down here to 100. But It's still, I mean, that's got to be the biggest crash FedEx has ever seen, being down over 43%, 43 points, 20%. No more scans and emails. Well, like, listen, sometimes these people more and more people starting to do things electronically. Listen, you do your taxes, you can do it electronically now. I don't have to worry about signing it. You know, DocuSign obviously has done really well because of that. Electric signatures are doing pretty well. But like all this stuff, sometimes, I mean, like, I don't know, maybe because more people don't need to send it, so they got to charge more, you know. But anyway, we got a major problem, and all I could tell you is this: I'm the type of person, you know, when I look at my glass, some people say, oh, we'll call it half empty, and then some people say, oh no, it's half full. So it's two opposites. So for us, remember I always told you, catastrophes make opportunities. All right. So if we do, and listen, and another bad thing I heard is that the Fed, they're already predicting that people are saying they're going to raise it up 100 basis points, 100, and they're going to raise it again in November. I mean, they're really trying to tap down inflation really bad, and they really screwed up big time. They should have did this when people are home, and and it was right after when the market started making a little bit of comeback. But you know what? They really screwed everybody up. Now the housing market's going to take a big hit. Interest rates are off the roof. Car loans are going to be off the roof. More people are on credit cards. So I don't want to be here to negative bad words going into a new weekend. But all I could tell you is cash is king. So just be prepared. There's going to be great opportunities. There were things that I wanted to buy a long time ago. I couldn't because I said I just refused to pay that much money. But some people are desperate for it. But you know what? Now here's your opportunity. So the market will always go up and down, but it's going to be pretty hairy for the next year and a half, from what I was told. All right, from what I could see. Chuck C says, Fausto, I used to be a director opposing a Fly Tiger Line Airlines before FedEx bought us out. FedEx makes their money in international freight and premiums, overnight domestic service. Fuel's about 35% of that cost. You're right, Chuck, and the same thing about airlines. Fuel is a lot, but fuel did come down, I guess, a little bit. It wasn't like it was 2 years ago when we were at $2 a gallon. But yes, Grant, looks like we should be learning to short more. Yes, and that's a great question, and we might have to short because there's going to be a lot of great opportunities to short certain stocks, and you really want to focus on the very, very expensive ones that we'll look at before we do that. The Fed is causing this inflation. They They sure did, Lee. You know what? They could have controlled it. Powell was terrible. I don't know why, he's still there. He should have been, got rid of it. But you know what? Now all of a sudden he's going to be the really bad guy, But a lot has to do with a lot of spending that was going on. People just racking up the credit card and Congress, and and interest rates were too low, and that's what happened. So, but listen, someone's got to pay. Someone's going to have to pay eventually, and that's where it's going to come out to be. But listen, if you're someone has money in the bank, you're probably looking pretty good now because, the savings were like less than 1%. Now I heard they're like 3%, right? Look at the treasuries. Anyway, let's get back to the market because there was some really cool stuff that happened yesterday. And I know we didn't trade this stock because it was just too chaotic, but I just want to bring up this HKD. This thing was out of this world yesterday. This stock ran back in August, ran from $37 to $2,500, which I probably in the lifetime of me trading in 30 years, I don't think I've ever seen that before. Came all the way back down to some reality around 45, and then the damn thing ran all the way to almost $400 yesterday in 2 days. Now it's coming back down to 100. This has got to be the most crazy stock I've ever seen. It was fun watching it yesterday just to see why you don't want to trade things like this, but it was definitely a pretty cool stock. But anyway, there was other stocks that we did trade, and we didn't want to distract us on that one. One other good stock that we traded was EVGO, and the issue was that there wasn't that much good pre-market yesterday, but then when the market opened up, a lot of these orders started kicking in. EVGO moved pretty nicely from 920 to 1060. You can see it had that really nice pop in the morning. CMRA, another one, did a nice little pop early, and then you know what? For some of you that came in the middle of the day, the stock was right to rally, $3 to about $3.80. Not bad, not bad at all. MEGL, same thing, $6.50 to $8. There were a couple of good stocks here. AMRS, this thing just tanked and just like, I don't know what the hell happened to this. Had a nice little move, and then all of a sudden things started coming down. And you know what's cool about that stock? We traded that stock, and what was nice about it that once we broke that low, I owned that stock. I was trading. I know a lot of us were in it. If we didn't get out of that stock, look what happened. You got really, really beat up on it. And remember, that's the number one thing that we teach you at CyberTrade University. It's not about making winners. It's about controlling losers. And if you were on the wrong side and you didn't take that profit, or you're like, oh, I just bought it, I can't hold on it, that stock I think was a very good lesson that we learned in class. Same thing with IBRX, same thing. Stock had a nice move since September beginning, ran from $4 to $8. It ran from $6.50 to $7.50. And then once we stopped making higher highs, that thing also started backing off. So there was a lot of very good educational stocks yesterday, and there was some money to be made. Not a great day, you know, not a great day, but there was. Roblox has taken a nasty hit. That thing just got crushed yesterday. Was at 46, went down to 42. It just came out right in the middle of the day, which is very rare. So that had some news in the middle of the day. Had a little bit of a dead cat bounce from 42 to about 43, but we know that stock is pretty damn volatile. Wind did pretty well, but that also, you know, obviously once the market started backing off, you could see everything backed off. Anyway, Chips also was a pretty good fun stock yesterday. And I'm going to bring this up because Chips was really, really cool. What did we learn about Chip yesterday? So I did two events yesterday. I did one open house here at CTU, and I did one with Bookmap yesterday. And I thought Chip was probably the best stock, where we saw a 260,000 share seller at $20. And when you look at the long-term chart, major resistance. Do I still have Chip up here? What if he's still out there? I'm going to bring him up here. Yeah, he's still out there. There's the seller right there. You could see it. Here's that big seller right here. You could see it from yesterday, and this is from today. It was literally 200, and if I keep going back, you could probably see here how big resistance that red was. But there was over a 260,000 share seller. Did not want to get past it. I traded it, actually, and I got out. And I know a lot of you guys did it too yesterday, and you could see it was like kryptonite. And you know what? If you didn't get out, boom, the thing came all the way back down to 1870. And we all know why the stock went up. We know that Biden went to Detroit, was looking at all the EV cars. You know that, Biden wants everybody to own an electric car, but then you realize you can't have electric cars without charging stations. That's like having, gas cars without gas stations. You know what I mean? There's almost, you go anywhere in any block, you'll find a gas station. Well, if you have an EV, where are you gonna find an electric charging station? So, and I know that the stock, obviously, I even have one in my house, actually, to charge my own house. But yeah, but until that happens, I don't care what I said. You could think it's the greatest story in the world. Until that seller got done at 260, it wasn't going anywhere. So anyway, that's what happened yesterday. So let's go hop around and see what's happening this morning. This morning, listen, pre-market was not that great. I mean, we were doing the best that we can to go shopping around. We looked at a couple of stocks out there. CLEU, I mean, it was a cheap stock. You could see it had some good movement here. It's up 29%. Level one stock, CLEU. We remember this stock. We traded in May. It had a nice move from $1.30 to $3, and obviously you could see it. It was a short squeeze, an educational stock. But I don't know. It's moving okay. It's got good volume. Let me go hop on over here at level 4. Let me see where the orders are. CLEU. Let me let that load up really quick. Gotta get some data here. All right, so here we got some orders right here. Let me just show you what we got going on. You got this order right here, nothing crazy, but you got 30,000. It's all right, nothing crazy. I mean, it did trade 5 million shares, so probably not going to get that much action in it. AAIU had a really gap up yesterday, but now she's starting to trend down. She's up 21%. Not really a fan of that one. We just got a little bit of a pop on this SJ. Stock went from 5 to about 550. Tier size is small, 12%. I mean, I would probably have this on the B list, but as of right now, it's going to be on my A list because I really don't have that much to show for. Look at this. This is ridiculous. I mean, we're already down to number 5 on the NASDAQ and we're talking 4%. That's how bad it is. So what does that mean? Got to hop on the loser list. Actually, let's go hop on the gainer on the New York Stock Exchange. Anything there. The stock is obviously ridiculous. New IPO right here. I just opened up. KOLD is not bad. I mean, we traded the stock in the past. It's got some good movement on it. KOLD. Nice little trend. You start from 12, almost at 13. Good volume. Not terribly over volatilized, I would call it. Only 1.6 million. I'm going to bring up level 4 here, see what's going on. Yeah, this is an ETF. So let me tell you what an ETF looks like, and this is why we don't trade ETFs. Look at this. See ETF? This is why it's so hard to trade an ETF. I don't know what the hell the buyers and sellers. That's what you call algorithms, okay? That's why we want to scratch it out. But when I lose my tools that I can't use to give me a sense of direction, I kind of pass on it. So everything else, they're all ETFs. FedEx obviously is going to be on the watch list. FDX. Put that on. NCR, that one's getting crushed too. NCR. We're down almost 400 points. I mean, we're really taking a big hit. Getty was pretty fun. And that looks like that party kind of died. Be careful, Boyle. Boyle is a very volatile stock. I mean, we watched the stock go from 40 to 120. You know, the stock is going down. It's obviously a market runner. Now, ours and losers go, hopping over here in the NASDAQ, ADTX, not really that much going on there. CMRA, that's a stock that had a good run yesterday. So you could see a lot of these big winners that we traded end up being in the big loser list. Now, when I go over here on the most active, what's really moving as of a volume leaders, you know, everything is just trending down. So today, you know, listen, we're probably going to be focusing on doing a lot of shorting. So, and I know a lot of people are scared to get a little nervous in shorting. First of all, what freaks me out is how could you be afraid to short when you trade options? It is almost 5 times more volatile and a lot more riskier than to short, okay? So don't be afraid to short, whatever you make up. You know, listen, when I started, let me tell you the scary part about shorting when I started. You had to short when the stock went up. You had to get in on an uptick. You don't have to do that anymore. You can short on a downtick. So if we see some trends, some brand names, there's a stock out there that you're very familiar with, this is your probably opportunity to do it. But anyway, it's Friday. Let's not get too crazy, not to get too cocky. I'm not going to get too crazy today. I don't like the market being down this much. This is not a really good sign to go on a Friday, going into the weekend and being down. So we could probably see a little bit more of this going on. And the more people start, and let me tell you what's going to happen. People will jump on the bandwagon. So if they know they're going into bad earnings or whatever, and all this news is going to come out, watch, you're going to hear more people coming out and says, you know what? This is our only opportunity not to get in trouble and not to shock the market. So it's like, you know, where you see smoke, there's fire. So they might go out there and say, you know what? We could hide our. We don't have to be on the spotlight. So we could just be part of those of all the bad news coming out. So you're probably going to see more and more of that come out. All right, guys, listen, good luck today. Be safe. Don't get too crazy today. It is Friday. I'm not going to get too crazy. But listen, if we see something pop up in the market, we'll go out and do it. So be careful, everybody. Happy trading. Be safe. I don't see you. Enjoy your weekend. See you back here on Monday. And don't forget, we'll be back live, YouTube and Facebook at 2:30. Cyber traders, don't forget, you hear something, you say something. All right? Good luck, everyone. Happy trading.